Hi, and welcome to Crafts with Ash. My name's Ashley, and today I'm going to bring you my first video of Valentine's Day crafts. Now, I love Valentine's Day. I just think the pinks and the reds, and I'm really into gold this year, are just so pretty. So today I'm going to bring you some cute little things that you can make to have a Valentine's hot cocoa bar. So let's get started. For this first project, all you're going to need are 2 mason jars. Now, I got these from the Dollar Tree, and I purposely picked these ones out because of the gold lid. So what I did was I took these amazing rub-on stickers, and these have been my favorite to use. I am obsessed with these. I picked a bunch up while I was there. And all I did was cut out the letters that I needed and then rub them on there. Now, the trick to this, and the paint bottles there are just to hold it so it doesn't roll. I didn't paint these. But the trick to these are you have to cut all of your stickers out first, or the rub-ons out first, and then place them without peeling the backing off. Place them where you want, and then when you know where you want it, then peel the backing off and go letter by letter. Otherwise, they will stick to your jar and you cannot pull them off. So definitely try them out first with the backing on. Now, what I did was I started with the first letter first and then worked my way out, and it worked out perfect. Next, I unscrewed the lid and took the top off, and then I took some of this red and white baker's twine and I tied it to the bottom of the top of the jar. So it's underneath the bottom lip where the cap would screw on. And then I wrapped it and wrapped it and wrapped it around a few times, and then went ahead and cut it off, and then I tied the 2 pieces together. Next, I took this box of Swiss Miss hot chocolate that I got from the Dollar Tree. Of course, you can use powdered chocolate, hot chocolate as well. And I opened all of the bags and poured them in. Now, this did not give me enough to fill the whole jar, so I did end up going back later and putting some powder hot chocolate that I got at a later time, and I poured it in there. Now, this one did have marshmallows in it. I did not realize that, but it still looked really cute. The next thing I did was took the sheet of wooden hearts that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I took the red one off and I hot glued it to the front of the little string, and that completed my cocoa jar. Then I did the exact same thing and made myself a marshmallow jar. Now stay tuned, look closely. I had a little intruder come steal my marshmallows. Of course, she saw an opportunity and she took it. So after I went ahead and filled up my jar with marshmallows, I replaced the cap and the lid, and again put that heart in the front, and I had 2 really cute jars for my hot cocoa bar. Now, I'm going to show you how to make all of these DIYs first, and then at the very end, I'll show you the final reveal. For this next craft, all you're going to need is a red coffee cup from the Dollar Tree, and then I just used those same rub-on letters. I went ahead and used the same concept, and I rubbed on XOXO to the front of this coffee cup, and it was so cute. Next, I took a red and white straw that I had in my stash and I cut it down just a little bit. Then I took this bag of glitter hearts from the Dollar Tree and I took 2 red ones and hot glued them to each side of the straw right on the top. How cute is this little coffee cup and stir? It's the perfect addition to my hot cocoa bar. Next, I took a pack of dice that I got from the Dollar Tree, and I gave each of these dice 2 coats of Waverly chalk paint in white. Now, here's a little tip. To make it easier to paint, I took a block of floral foam and 2 dowel rods and stuck the dice right on each. Now, I would suggest actually using skewers, because which is what I usually use, I just didn't have any, because these dice were a little tough to get on those dowel rods, but I just used what I have. Once my dice were painted and completely dry, I took the paint chocolate bar from Apple Barrel and I just doused the top of my little marshmallow in that. Now I did kind of move it around a little bit, but I purposely let the paint drip on the sides. Then I left it to dry overnight. It's the next day and I took my marshmallows and now it's time to make a face on both. So by using a permanent black marker, I just went ahead and drew a little face. I did a little winky face and then I did a face where the little eyes were closed. Now to add a little pink and cuteness to the marshmallows, I took the paint Pink Parfait from Apple Barrel and the bottom of a brush and just made 2 little dots over each of the dimples, I guess, of the mouth. Next, I took some confetti that I had that I used in a different DIY, and I just hot glued a little heart to the top corner of one of my marshmallows. Then I took some baker's twine, made a little shoelace bow, and hot glued that to the corner of my other marshmallow. Aren't these little marshmallows just the most adorable little things you've seen? I saw somebody do this and I just had to create it. Now it's time to make a little tray to bring it all together. So I got this tray a while back, but I do know that the Dollar Tree sells trays like this now in Crafter Square. So all I did was give this one nice coat of Waverly chalk paint in white. After my paint was dry, I went ahead and took some scrapbook paper that I got from Hobby Lobby and I traced the inside and kind of pushed the corners or edges down with my fingernail just to kind of get an idea of where I would need to cut it because I'm only covering the bottom. And as you can see, I didn't even paint the bottom, so don't even worry about doing that. Then once I got it trimmed down, I went ahead and put the scrapbook paper down and I kind of just made sure that it was going to fit. Then by using Mod Podge, I glued the scrapbook paper down to the bottom. Next, I took my little knife blade and I cut off any excess paper on the sides. Then I took my Mod Podge again and just touched up any corners that were coming up. Then I gave the top a nice coat of Mod Podge to seal everything in. To dress up my tray, I took some of this glittery red ribbon that I got from Michael's and I hot glued it all around the top of the tray. After that, I took those same rub-on letters that I have been using this whole time, and I cut out each of the letters that I would need to put hot cocoa bar. Now, my plans changed here. So I was gonna use hearts as the O's, but I decided not to do that. So what I ended up doing was just using one heart in hot and then putting the rest of the letters on. But because I spaced it out with all the other hearts, but I had already started rubbing it on, it did not land in the middle. So I realized I was gonna have to fix it because all of the words were off to the side. After lots and lots of thinking, I came up with a plan. I grabbed these chalkboard tags that I got from the Dollar Tree and cut one down to go right in the middle of that empty space at the end of the tray. I did make sure to measure it so it was a little smaller than the actual board itself. Then I went ahead and hot glued it on. Next, I took my chalkboard marker and wrote the word open right on my little chalkboard. I played with the idea of adding a heart at the end, but then ultimately decided not to. Even though the front of this tray didn't turn out exactly how I liked it, at the very end, I really loved how it all came together. To finish this off, I took this pack of flat stones and I took out 4 red ones and hot glued them to the bottom to make little feet for my tray. Like I said earlier, I am loving the gold and red theme for Valentine's this year, and that's why I wanted to make my hot cocoa bar look exactly like that. So here's the final reveal. What do you think? Doesn't this little tray just make you crave some hot cocoa? I would love to go for some right now with some marshmallows. It would be so good. You're gonna have to let me know in the comments what you think. Would you have gone with the red and gold theme, or what colors are you into this Valentine's Day? I want to thank you so much for joining me for this video. I hope that you loved this little hot cocoa bar and all of these DIYs. If you haven't done so already, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Then hop over to Facebook and give my Crafts with Ash DIY and decor page a follow and a like. Thank you so much for watching, and until we craft again, happy crafting. Bye!